Hello everyone. Today I would like to discuss one of the most, in my view, important aspects, important lessons of life. That would be turning garbage into flowers. Now, the way that I'm representing this today is by something that I have done and that I've practiced for some time now and have found it to be quite beneficial. I had a spot here in the garden where there were some weeds which had overgrown the garden, and what I did is I just took the hoe, spent about an hour, and I took the hoe and got most of it up. It was about waist high in weeds. It still doesn't look fantastic, but got a good amount of biomass out of it, and still have a good amount of tomatoes left in this garden, so I left those be for the time being. But if we come over here to the compost pile, you'll see that all this seeming garbage that was a nesting spot for mosquitoes and pests is now a place for biomass to be generated, and we'll have 40 or 50 pounds of really good biomass, and that's only a small fraction of the garden. Once the remainder of the garden is tilled up and made into compost, we'll have probably at least 100 pounds of biomass to add to this garden next year. And it's a lot better than trucking around a bunch of soil. This biomass you can put in its composted form. You can put it on top of the soil and it will keep away the weeds next year, and will provide a very rich soil and even more rich fruit next year. And this doesn't even take into account the 200 or 300 pounds of leaves that I should be able to get from trees once the tree leaves fall down later on, probably this month. There still seems to be a bunch of leaves up there. I'm going to rake them up as soon as they fall and add them to the compost pile. So really we may be looking at about 500 pounds of biomass to be composted this year. Plus I take every scrap of vegetable that comes out of the kitchen and compost that as well. So the whole point of this is most of what we have here is usually thrown out and put in the street or in the garbage. And what I'm going to do here is take this garbage and turn it into flowers. Now, you may think, well, yes, that's very common. Everybody knows that. But when I'm doing this, I don't think of it as just moving the biomass. I think there's also a lesson to be learned about our own minds and the seasonality of our own minds, and that we've got a lot of garbage in our minds that accumulates throughout the year, and we can kind of sync our minds up to the seasonal cycle. And I think our minds to some extent are naturally synced to this seasonal cycle, and we take the fall and winter time to gather this garbage and figure out a way to reclaim it and reuse it, so that by the time next spring rolls around, we'll have figured out what we need to figure out, and our garbage will be ready for a fertile new beginning next year. So, while I'm hoeing up these weeds and taking care of this garden, it's not a chore. It doesn't seem like a chore, because if you're mindful of what needs to go on in your mind, there's a lot to think about there. You're pulling up these weeds, and you can kind of connect that to your own mind and say, well, what is it in my mind that needs to be pulled up? What is it that needs to be taken care of inside? And that's a lot more important than just pulling up the weeds in the garden and tossing them into a pile. Because then when you connect your mind to what you're doing in the world, it can have a much deeper effect, because yes, I've got all this compost here, I'm going to have all this rich soil next year, and it's also going to yield some very rich fruit. So if the same is happening in the mind while this is going on, then even next year when I'm, partaking of this fruit and giving this fruit to friends and all of that, it will have a much deeper meaning, because not only will there be wonderful fruit, and it will be very healthy and beneficial to everyone who is able to eat it, but we'll also have the added benefit of having a cleared mind, and these cycles will start to sync up, and next year it will probably be even better, because I'll have learned more about what I need to do in order to better turn this garbage into flowers, basically. And it's not really a very complicated issue, it's just something you have to be mindful of. And I think mindfulness is the key to becoming more in touch with nature and who you are, and gaining added benefit from all of this. So I think I will leave it at that.